Duncan,
Jack,
you've been playing a lot of this here, Grim Dawn.
I have.
So why don't you go ahead and tell me about it?
Grim Dawn is an action RPG isometric viewpoint by the people who brought you one of the best ones ever called Titan Quest.
Okay.
So it is a lot of clicking. But as you can see at the bottom, you do have a hot bar, which really maximizes the ability to use a few skills. But if you want to build like one of those true traditional builds, you only want to have a few skills anyway. So there is an excessive amount of blood, which it just wouldn't feel right without that stuff. There's an excessive amount of running and an excessive amount of clicking.
Is that like a big bear thing you got?
It's my Briar Heart.
All right.
Which so like kind of like I'm. This is a shaman who is very like druidic in a sense like that.
Okay.
And just switched over to my Nightblade, who has an incredible dash attack. Here you can see a lot of trees, and sometimes you see trees instead of enemies until you're literally on top of said enemies. That is one of my biggest gripes about this game is the trees sometimes just do not work properly, and I'm sure I can double back to that in this content a few times. Now, while I'm adventuring in this world, I am literally killing thousands of things. And I know how boring and cliche that says, but some of them, like Vladox here, are harder to kill. And of course, there's the loot.
So would you say the grind is real?
The grind is incredibly real, and the grind is so good.
Okay.
You level up in a way that feels natural, and you crave your next one so you can get those skill points. This game is very much about building a character to be precisely how you want to play it. There are 5 classes, and you get 2 classes with each character that you create. So you pick one, and then at level 10 you get another one, and you can divvy points up however you want to. Just makes the character builds that much more diverse and unique, and they all so far have felt relevant. I built 4 characters, and they all seem to be equally good at different tasks based on what those tasks are. Okay. Now, there's a lot of trees and a lot of like foresty stuff here. I used a lot of footage just from the first act because I didn't want to do too much spoiling of anything. That being said, it doesn't get too diverse in a sense. It maintains its grim dawn feel. Very dark. The combat feels very heavy. It also has this little reputation system here. And each town and group that you run into has different reputations. There's Carlisle. He's like there's 2 stashes. There's the Universal, which is where I have all my items for other characters. Okay. Then that character stash themselves. You go underground, as expected in games like this.
Yeah. Very dark aesthetic. So
yeah. It's very deliberate. It's very. I feel like the best way to say it is it's very much modeled after the Diablo 2 aesthetic. Diablo 3 was a lot brighter. Right. This feels more in line with that. The only downside to it is that map, you can't have that as like a constant luminescent, or translucent rather, thing overarching at all times. Here's some Sork footage here with the absolute... Magic feels so good in this game. Like right there, I'm using cold spells, and I have like my magic missile type thing, which explodes into everything. It just everything. It's not fast. It's flashy, and it's very prominent. And every action that you take in this game, you feel it, whether you want to or not. Like right there, half my health bar disappeared off of this boss. Absolutely obliterated me, and I needed my friends to save my life. Didn't really work because I decided to run back in like an idiot.
So more methodical than your average hack and slash kind of asymmetric game, you'd say? Or...
Yeah, there's a lot of dealing with things like resistances because there are a ton of different resistances. And obviously you can boost your own specific stats and stuff. So you can either resist them or do more damage and all things like that. There's a lot of stats in this game. There will be later on a nice little display of just how many numbers you actually have to crunch and stuff. Okay. Remember how I was talking about trees?
Yes.
That one's in the way. Yeah, so cut me off for my friends there.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is this because I'm not into the PC world that you are. But was this like kickstarted? Is this like an independent game?
This was a successful Kickstarter.
Okay.
Yeah, and probably one of my absolute favorite games that I've seen come to fruition from quote unquote indie development. That being said, there's a lot of people who know what they're doing.
A lot of talent. Behind
A
it, basically.
lot of talent. Like Titan Quest was my second favorite isometric to Diablo 2.
Oh wow. Okay,
Grim Dawn's probably going to surpass that the more I play.
Sure.
Just because it's that nice hybrid of the two of them.
Okay.
Is it that traditional map system with waypoints and stuff like that? They're called rifts. Then here's like I said, there's 2 skill trees based on who you pick when you level up the first time, and then level 10 you get access to more.
Okay. Is that kind of like would you almost compare that leveling system to Destiny in a way, where you have like you'd hit like your second subclass when you get to level 15? That might be a dumb question.
In that regards, yes.
Okay.
Then like there's a ton of item grinding here.
Yeah.
You can see over there, there's physique, cunning, spirit as your main stats that you can put 1 point into each level up, and then health, energy, pretty obvious. These stats are just about my damages.
Oh wow.
It's deep,
Yeah,
and it's so good. And then these ones are strictly my defensive ones.
Okay.
Absolutely phenomenal. It's got all the depth that I want, but at the same time, you can play this game really shallow.
Okay.
You can just charge in and kill things and have fun, but I want to have a character who can defeat everything, endgame content and stuff like that, and which I don't know anything about endgame content because I haven't reached that, but I know that for games like this, you have to have very specific builds and have an idea in mind.
Right. I do like it when they give you a very clear option to go either deep or shallow. That's something I like in my games.
Grim Dawn did that, and it's good.
Yeah. Well, if I had a PC, I'd look into it. But keep it locked, game mates, for more content like this.